Welcome to the Art of Hitting channel. Today we're going to share with you a sled exercise. We feel like if you incorporate this sled exercise into your training regimen, it can be a game changer for you. Looking to improve glute strength and enhance your knee stability, which is a huge part of this sled activity, by adhering to the principles advocated by the expert like Ben Patrick, the knee and toe guide you can look up on YouTube. Athletes can mitigate the risk of injuries and unlock their full potential on the field by following the kneel and toe guy on YouTube. Remember, consistency and proper technique are the key to reaping the benefits of sled training. So grab a sled, lace up your shoes, and let's embark on a journey towards stronger, more resilient performance in softball. Let's see what Dan has to share with you. As you can see, we've done all kinds of things here at the hitting club.
What you got to start measuring is how to get in shape without putting less pressure or compression on your body. And one way to do that is to use sled dragging. Physical preparedness is the ability to do medium and hard workouts and completely recover from it. It's your general physical capacity and what you're capable of doing. Sled dragging is a great exercise for GPP. So if you're out of shape, sleds are actually better for you than running or any of those things because of the compressive factors. In sled dragging, it's mostly traction. It's not compressing your spine. You're still having to work a little bit harder than just average walking. The next big thing that sled dragging does is it increases muscle activation in the right areas. And what are those right areas? Well, the one big thing is glutes, okay? Glutes are a big issue because a lot of us have a sit-down job, so we're on our glutes all day. We deactivate them by sitting. So when you just hop out of a car or things of that nature, kind of like what I deal with my firemen, they're sitting in an ambulance or a fire truck and then they're sitting and then they hop up and have to do work. The glutes tend to be kind of turned off. With sled dragging on a consistent basis, your glutes are going to be turned on and ready to work out. So I love to use the sled dragging to get my glutes ready to squat and deadlift. My philosophy on sled dragging is that it does create some back traction. How much research is out that is, who knows? The sled's pulling you backward and you're going forward, meaning that the spine, especially at the lumbar area where that thing is connected to you, is actually causing...
Just shared with me why it's important to use the sled, and if you read the write-up, you'll see more information about how important it is. So Dan here is, we're going to have Dan show you a little bit about the sled. Let's listen to Dan.
Goes. Legs, make it, you don't have to go fast. Feel it in the legs. Make the legs do the work. Yeah. Dan, you didn't think it was quite heavy enough. Now, for anybody starting out, obviously, now you're what, 51 years old, 50 years old? 50 what? 53. Okay. Now, when anyone out there is going to use this sled, you want to start easy and work up to higher weight. But Dan's got like 300 pounds on here. So Dan, let's get down in a position. It looked like that you want to make sure everything's on your legs and you want to feel in here and there. Did you feel it?
Yeah, so you're supposed to
heel.
You're supposed to heel and then toe. Is that what you do?
Heel toe. Yeah, I think that's the way it works. How did it feel for you? When I pushed, yeah, heel toe. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Is that a little heavier, huh? How's it feel now? Get that glutes and that buttocks and all that. You got to feel it in the legs. Get down a little lower. Legs. How's that feel? Now, we've been doing a lot of research. We find that walking backwards is really productive, and it's good on your knees. Get rid of your knees pain and your back pain. How does that feel, Dan?
It's hard.
Hard? What do you feel like right now? What are you feeling?
Tired.
Tired?
Interestingly, I have some knee issues.
Yeah.
They're both a little sore. This one's got a PCL. And this one's just sore recently. I don't know why. And that didn't really hurt. So it's good.
Yeah. That is good, and that's the whole purpose of it, right? Guys with bad knees can do it. Now, it's not recommended from what I've seen and read. I've done a lot of research on it. You don't want to do the maximum weight off like you. Oh, give me the heavier weight. You might want to get it down a little bit, but that's your call. I mean, if you're all right with that, I mean, how's your legs feel? Don't they feel more springy?
Not yet, but I mean.
Okay. Well, let's leave this and go to another one.
Okay, you see how we use the sled in our gym, and that's the typical sled that you see in most gyms, at least the ones I've seen. Now, we got two guys that are experts that are going to show you with a little different sled machine, but you can use almost anything to pull
if you use it right.
push. But
Here's 3
listen to
tips
these
to
guys
level
tell
up
you
your
how to do
sled
it.
game.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
First, let's start with sled pulling. Now, this is a great way to build work capacity and cardio. And as a strength athlete, I don't want to do a ton of running. This is a much better way to get my cardio work in. Now, let's talk about one of the most common problems I see with sled pulling is poor posture. People just get so fatigued, their back gets rounded over, horrible positions. Remember, we want to maintain good optimal technique with our core and spinal positions while we're doing this. So keep your chest upright, sit down a little bit, keep that core braced. Finger into the side every once in a while to make sure that the core is braced, driving through the feet. Remember, spinal mechanics matter every time you're exercising. Now, from here, I'm driving through my feet. I'm not relaxing over or just plopping my foot down. Drive through the toes. With this, good spinal mechanics, good breathing while I'm doing this. I'm not just big breath in, big breath out. Keeping this braced, that's how you're gonna optimize your sled pull.
But now, let's talk about the sled push. So with the sled push, the most important thing to start with is think about your feet. Grab the ground, move slow at the beginning so you really are pushing and feel those toes integrate. If you can do this barefoot, that's amazing. If you need to wear shoes, that's fine. But think about feeling those feet push into the ground. That integrates the foot, ankle, lower leg complex. Then we want to drive those knees over the toes. We want to get that stretch from the bottom of the foot and the back of the calf. Drive the knee over the toe as you get into this position. And then third, you can push with the arms extended or the arms bent and keep that chest upright. Just focus on your breath and get into whatever's the most effective position. What people do is they drop their head down and they lose all control, they lose all their posture, they lose their breathing, and then they immediately sink when their cardiovascular capacity. So think about it, if your arms are straight, this is kind of easier when it's lighter weight. When you want to get heavier and really push, I find it's best to bend the arms and lean in. But as long as you push through the toes, drive the knees over the toes, and then really keep that chest upright and push with all your cardiovascular capacity, you're going to be moving this well.
There you go, guys. So this is your ultimate sled push and pull tutorial. Remember, if you're doing this correctly, especially on your pulls, those quads are going to be burning. And if you're driving well and getting that full hip extension, you're definitely going to be feeling your glutes and hamstrings working well as well.
So we use the tank for this. Obviously, you don't have to have one. This is probably one of the best options when it comes to being indoors, outdoors, on turf without messing things up. You can increase the resistance or decrease it, so it's all magnets or some cool technology like that. But this even works if you have just a regular sled that slides on the ground. The best thing you can do is get something that works like a sled and then push that. It's going to take care of you to the next level.
If you don't even have the funds to get something like this, don't worry. Go get a spare tire, hook a chain around it, and get dragging it outside your house.
Or a friend.
Yeah, there you go. You don't need to get to an expensive thing if you don't have the funds, but sled push and pulls can be a great way to get some added work into your training day.
Remember, the primary focus is knees over toes, and Dan Patrick on YouTube will explain that. But remember, there's a beginner's guide to the sled exercises in the write-up, and it gives you 3 or 4, I guess it's 3, basic things that you can do. But remember, that's in the write-up. Please hit subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that. More will follow.